Hello, it is Friday, August 12th, 2022. I am back home in London where it is incredibly hot, but being back in my traditional recording environment should mean the audio quality is a bit better than it has been earlier this week, so apologies if that hasn't been quite up to par. And I am once again very tired, having only slept a few hours on a plane last night, but I'm going to do my best to solve the Friday crossword regardless. So this, and despite it being very late, apologies for that as well. So yes, this tardy edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Trash Snack, Bradley Pirtle, and, as always, the inestimable Hood Monster, the invaluable Timothy Mark, and the indomitable Shulmaster. So thank you so much to the 5 of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for directly supporting this channel and helping to make it a sustainable part of my daily work. I do very much appreciate that. And if you'd like to join their ranks as benefactors, for which you will receive the Daily Solve Let's Check the Crosses mug, you can find that at patreon.com/dailysolve, and there's a link in the description field underneath the video. Of course, you will also receive all of the bonus videos that go up on the channel each week, as well as the full archive of those that have gone up to date. And you will receive those as well for being a patron at any level. So thank you to everybody who has backed the Patreon campaign at any tier. I do very much appreciate that. Thank you for your contributions and your generosity. And you can join the Daily Solve Discord chat server. I haven't mentioned that in ages, I don't think. That is where you can chat with members of this community about the New York Times crosswords that come out each day, the other puzzles people have been solving, Wordle, crossword construction, and you can play people's crosswords and all sorts of other things. You can find a link to that in the description field as well. Now let's get on to the solve today. As noted, this is a Friday New York Times crossword, so it is themeless. It's our first of 2 themeless puzzles for the week, and it was constructed by Trent H. Evans, who has constructed a handful of puzzles for the New York Times, and it was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. So let's start solving, shall we? Summer program in Huntsville, Alabama. That is awfully specific. What an interesting grid we have. It almost looks like it's illustrating a sort of, I don't know, a coin or something with something inscribed in it, maybe. I don't know. I mean, it's a themeless puzzle, so presumably that it isn't a thematic illustration, but it is sort of striking. Anyway, poor excuse for a student. I don't know, dog ate homework or something. I don't think that's going to be the answer. Making one's bed, taking a shower, and solving a crossword. Say daily tasks, perhaps? What would that be? Making one's bed, taking a shower, and solving a crossword, say. It seems like it has something to do with daily routines, maybe? That could be it. Let's check the crosses on that. Less is more for one. I don't know, an axiom or an adage or something. Maybe this isn't daily routines. Mere placeholders. And bit. Bit could mean, well, it could be a noun or a verb, or actually an adjective. If you think of a bit part, for instance, in a film, it could be an adjective as well. So there's quite a few possibilities. Confined, I'm not thrilled about daily routines. I'm going to remove it and move on. Bronze from a bottle. Some kind of maybe fake tan to bronze yourself with a bronzer from a bottle. Confined. In 1998, Sarah McLachlan hit. This has been in the puzzle. I know this has been in the puzzle several times before, and yet, I don't seem to remember the answer, so I'll move on. Part of New England, abbreviation. Connecticut? Blank salad. Feels though this could be a fair few things as well. Site that offers vehicle history reports. Oh, I don't know what that means. Crooked. Askew? I mean, this probably has several possibilities as well. Common bug. A flu, maybe? Let's see, if we put flu in there, does that... Or a fly, actually. That's funny. Common bug. You could imagine this being flu or fly. which are almost identical as words, and yet, of course, refer to completely different things. One an insect and one an illness. So anyway, crooked. A slant would work if it were one more letter with that L there, but I don't know. I'm not doing very well so far, am I? Fella could be a, I don't know, pal or guy or bud or bro or something. I mean, there's so many options. Cut off. Oh, that also feels like it could be many things. Means of communication with Commissioner Gordon. Oh, this was strangely enough, I think. Oh, no, it wasn't in the puzzle. I was going to say it was the bat sign or the bat signal or whatever the sort of floodlight that shines Batman's logo into the sky, but I think it's actually bat phone. In the 1960s Batman television series, which is actually the Batman material with which I am personally most familiar. Every single thing, essentially everything Batman owns is prefixed with Bat, and the show's production crew clearly had an enormous amount of fun labeling absolutely everything in Batman's home. It's extremely tongue-in-cheek and good. Anyway, bat phone is one of those things, presumably, and crooked is something. Got together is maybe something up, and that would make the common bug work as the flu. Got together, met up, maybe? Crooked, a tilt. There we go, similar to a slant. We have that A at the beginning, which I really wanted to be in there for some reason. Site that offers vehicle history reports. It's incredibly specific. Friends forever. Besties? Best friends? A sort of modern slang. Let's just check some potentially useful crosses here. Clearly you'd like me to leave that topic alone. Right, so this is someone who's been asking too many questions or sort of prying. I'll not. I won't pry. I won't ask. I won't pry. Pry seems more accurate because you've already asked about it. So it's sort of too late to say you won't ask. You're saying I'm not going to delve into it further. Let's see if this works. Crushed a test. Maybe not. Maybe it is I won't ask. Because crushed a test could be aced it. Suppress. Smash or the Bengals on scoreboard. Oh, Cleveland? Maybe? Is there any chance that's right? Building toy brand. I'm not sure. Suppress. And blank noir. Could be bet noir. Meaning a sort of what is a bet noir? It's sort of refers to a sort of young rebel kind of difficult character. Maybe this is wrong. Suppress. That doesn't seem right. Something's wrong. Sorry about this. This aced it makes me want to think I won't ask is still right, but I don't know if it is. Less is more for one. Oh, that's interesting. Where was that? Here, less is more for one. And yes, the clues are identical. Interesting. An old saw, a bromide, an adage, a saying, I don't know, an idiom. None of these fit. Study. I'm sort of jumping all over the place, and I'm not making very much progress. Let's see, where else can I look? Let's try and use this W. That's a useful letter, potentially. Former employer of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson for short. Well, The Rock was a wrestler, right? So all of those wrestling organizations seem like they're WW something. There's WWE and F. I'm not sure what the significance of each of those is, but does either of those work? Some frigid temps. Zeros? I'm not sure. Drudge. A peon, maybe? A sort of someone who toils. Some frigid temps. F doesn't look very good, so maybe this E here. Oh, teens as in the temperature was in the teens, and then no cockadoodle doers. Hens maybe as opposed, right, so hens as opposed to roosters or cocks. That would make sense. And then fictional weapon of the 23rd century. Phaser. That must be the century in which Star Trek takes place. And then Radisson competitor. So that Radisson is a hotel chain, as is Hyatt. So that looks right. You might bend over backwards for it. Yoga, maybe. Okay, finally this puzzle is unlocking its secrets. Some unmentionables. I'm not sure. What about this? Quad strengthening exercise move. A lunge would be such a thing, right? And fella bub, maybe one of the synonyms I didn't guess. Camping danger. Yes, camping danger could be a bear, depending on where you are. A bear could threaten you while you're camping, I suppose, if it's attracted by the scent of your food or something like that. And then I'm not seeing what that is immediately for some reason. Maybe it'll become more obvious with another cross. Making one's ritual. Making one's bed, taking a shower, and solving a crossword. Say this looks like a ritual. Oh, bedtime? No. Well, maybe it is. Maybe Connecticut is wrong. Making one's no, you wouldn't make one's bed. You'd make your bed in the morning. These other things you could do at any time of day conceivably, but you pretty much make your bed in the morning. So that would put Connecticut back there. And I mean, a shower is more common in the morning as well, but you could take an evening shower. And then summer program, looks like camp maybe here, summer camp. More on a score. Oh, più. So more in Italian would be used on a musical score to indicate more of something. I don't know, more rubato or more. Now I can't think of any examples of musical terminology, but more of something on a musical score. Oh, some unmentionables are taboos. You literally should not mention them because they are taboo. That is, I suppose, tautological. And, oh, maybe this is my dog ate it. Look at that. The dog ate it. Right, I was sort of throwing away that idea, but I should have thought about it a bit more and tried some alternative arrangements like I did with I Won't Ask. The dog ate it, I won't ask. These almost feel like they're part of a theme, even though they clearly are not because it is a Friday puzzle. Egg salad. Here's this sort of salad. Wouldn't have been my first guess, so I was right. There were probably several options, although I suppose not too many and only 3 letters. I don't know. Okay, let's see. Bit. A shred. Not one bit of something, not one shred of it. Confined is pent up. There we go. Pent, but we often say pent up. Oh, Space Camp, a summer program in Huntsville, Alabama. Okay, that's interesting. There must be, I wonder if NASA has facilities there or something. And then 1998, Sarah McLachlan hit Adia. Yeah, you know what's funny? Even though I know this has been in the crossword a number of times, I still don't really recognize it. So that probably means I won't remember it for next time. And you can yell at me through the screen about it then as well. Okay, mere placeholders are tokens. Tokens stand in for things often. And kind of bean that can be used to make falafel. A fava bean? Can fava beans be used to make falafel? Think of them as being chickpea based, but I don't really know the full scope of falafel making. And cut off could be axed, maybe. Oh, less is more for one maxim. Once again, one of the ones I didn't get to. I think I said about every possible variant of this except for maxim. What an adage, bromide, saw, saying. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. But nope, it didn't get to maxim, so I didn't get it right. Vin blanc would be white wine. So there we go. Vin blanc, I suppose. And then position in an array to a computer scientist. To position. So this could mean a noun or a verb, it occurs to me. It could mean a position in an array, or it could mean to position something in an array. And I'm not sure which it is, and I'm going to move on. Gets the heck out of Odge Day. So here's a bit of Pig Latin. So this is Odge Day would be dodge in Pig Latin, and then amscrays. Amscrays. I guess one of the more commonly used Pig Latin words, to the point that I suppose amscray has sort of entered the idiomatic English lexicon in its own right, even outside of Pig Latin, from scram, of course. Let's see. Messenger for the gods in the Iliad. Ares or Eros. I've actually never read the Iliad. Give updates on in real time, perhaps. You live tweet something. Curl up and die, punnily named hair salon. One setting of which is the film The Blues Brothers. Carrie Fisher's character's hair salon, I believe, was called Curl Up and Die. Basilica section, so a nave section of some oops, almost spelled that incorrectly. I've been doing that quite often recently, I've noticed, sort of just putting in the wrong letter, usually from earlier in the word. I do that quite often. Oh, here, position in an array to a computer scientist is an index. So I suppose you actually could treat this as a verb or a noun, although I think more accurately it's a noun. An index is a particular entry's position in an array. Okay, so here we have Carfax, site that offers vehicle history reports. So I guess sort of a pun on facts, as in FACTS. And a website, I guess. And then Messenger for the Gods in the Iliad. Okay, I was completely wrong in each of my guesses. So Iris, perhaps, comfortable, at ease. There we go. And Digger's Harvest. Oh, clams. Dig for clams. And then quick study exam, as in, I'm wondering if this means quick as in an abbreviated form of examination, maybe? Oh, no, it's not, sorry. It's cram. It's, in other words, studying or revising for a test. You are doing it very quickly. You're cramming maybe the night before instead of having done so over time. So maker of a jet-propelled pogo stick. This is probably Acme from the Roadrunner cartoon. I guess plenty of other Warner Brothers, is it? Cartoons as well. Acme, the sort of company that manufactures whatever seems to be needed in those cartoons. Pamphlet could be something. Trumpeter Wynton Marsalis is a jazz trumpeter from the renowned Marsalis family, I suppose, of jazz musicians. And, a pamphlet could be a tract. There we go, printed materials. Like loam and hummus. Earthy, maybe? And let's see, what else can we do? Naval destroyer in old slang. Not sure. Let's keep looking. Makes sense. It will make sense. It will add up. There we go. That was useful to actually try and think of how one might say this aloud. That's actually what gave me the answer. That can be very useful. Try and put it in a sentence because it forces you to think of the sentence. It forces you to construct the sentence in the whole, its entirely correct context. So it would be easier to read make sense, but then think about it as makes sense, just because in the translation from the page to your sort of imagination, I find that kind of small change can sometimes occur. But if you really force yourself to create a sentence that has make sense in it, it will make sense as opposed to it makes sense. It'll get you closer to the exact specific synonym you'll need. I don't know. That might not work for everybody, but I find that very frequently useful. Study. So here's study as a noun. Could be a den, a room in one's home. Naval destroyer. Right. I still don't know what that is. Taya of CBS's Madam Secretary. Taya Leone? Is that how you pronounce that actor's name? I've not seen Madam Secretary, but I do think I've seen sort of art from it, and I do think Taya Leone is in it. Okay, You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown song. Not sure. It looks like it starts with the, though. Brand of camera or lip balm. I think EOS is a Canon camera line, I think. And lip balm, that's probably true as well. Response to someone who got the answer instantly. You nailed it. There we go. I nailed it, at least in this one particular case, although not in plenty of other examples in this crossword. Oh, naval destroyer in old slang. A tin can, maybe? Wonder if they were easily sunk. You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown song. The doctor is in. Must be it. That was something that, was it the Lucy character she had a sort of ersatz psychiatric practice by which she would sit behind a desk in public and it would say the doctor is in, and she would charge people money for advice or something. I might be misremembering some detail of that, whether it's the character or something else about it, but that makes sense that it would be part of a Charlie Brown from the comic strip Peanuts. Sorry, is what I'm referring to here. Anyway, Soul Cycle offering. It's a spin class, right? It's sort of a standing bike exercise company, I suppose. And then election cycle news, a poll. Poll results in the news and election cycle. Grounds, an area, simply the grounds, the physical location area, grounds. And purges could be rids. You could rid yourself of something, purge yourself of it. And less is more for one. Oh, right, here's one of these. A paradox. That's clever. So that's completely different meaning than what we had. It's a completely different implication than with less is more for one, which was the same clue. So it's a maxim, but it's also a paradox, you could say, in that less and more literally mean the opposite, and yet it is a common saying because we understand what it we understand the truth of what it is communicating, but in a literal sense, you could say it's a paradox. Anyway, grounds. Oh, basis, and look at that, we had another grounds. So we have some little echoes throughout this clue. It's a themeless puzzle, but nonetheless, we have little echoes. I wonder if you could take this illustration to have some sort of, I don't know, almost yin-yang sort of implication. I'm not really sure. I'm just trying to think of kind of opposites, that sort of thing. I don't think there's enough of a theme going on for that to be the case. But anyway, the Bengals on scoreboards. Right. Let's see. What do we have here? Suppress. Building toy brands. Oh, actually, now that I see this, it rings a bell. Connects, maybe? So this wasn't whatever I thought it was, Cleveland or something. It was completely wrong. I'm sorry. Cincinnati, maybe? Suppress news, you sit on it. And then Bête Noire was correct after all. And it's all this. There it is. That is the puzzle. So there we have it. And a very nice Friday puzzle. Not too taxing, but I would say some pleasing resistance throughout. And some nice little echoes, which I always enjoy in a themeless puzzle, since we don't get the overriding theme. We had at least a couple of these that I noticed. There might have been more. We had the less is more for one as both a paradox and a maxim, and we had grounds as an area and grounds as a verb somewhere. I hardly forget where that was, but that's fine. And some nice long phrases like the dog ate it, morning ritual, I won't ask, you nailed it, the doctor is in, spin class. Nice range of answers in this Friday puzzle. So nice work from Trent H. Evans. Let me know how you did with this one. And now I will move on to a few clues from yesterday's puzzle. So I think most of them were related to the theme yesterday. Actually, there was one that was a bit of information for me. I can't believe I couldn't bring this to mind. Cody says call signs are the monikers for fighter pilots, among other occupations. And that was referring to my inability to remember the name of the concept of a call sign in reference to Top Gun. I don't know why I couldn't remember call signs, but yes, thank you, Cody. I was at a loss, and of course, you are correct. That is what they are called. As Cody says, they are indeed code names used for radio communications in combat situations to conceal the identities of the pilots from the enemy. And of course, they're cool. So there you go, call signs. And I think the rest of the comments that I saw anyway were related to yesterday's linguistic theme, which was incredibly impressive. And a few people had some additional context on some of the words. So actually, this was not even related to, this wasn't the theme expressly, but it clearly was related to languages and translations. So it's absolutely worth tying into the theme. Bradley said, I really liked the answer to 28 down also having meaning in two different languages. Procedure of quattro or chic. And the answer was, well, the answer was either tres or tres, the former a Spanish word and the latter a French word. So tres in Spanish meaning three and tres in French meaning very. And the meaning there, as Bradley points out, is that quattro is four in Spanish and chic is, stylish, that sort of thing in French. And four can be preceded by three and chic can be preceded by tres for très chic, very chic. So an incredibly clever little clue tying in with the linguistic theme. And then Schulmaster adds an even what may be an even more impressive nuance here. Preceder is the Spanish infinitive of proceed as well. And the clue, of course, said proceder of Quatre Chic. Schulmaster says it's probably an observation in search of cleverness, but proceder is just awkward enough of an English word for it to be possible. I wouldn't be at all surprised if that were intentional, or at least knowing. I think, at the very least, the constructor could have stumbled upon it and, again, found it. Another nice little nod. So I think that was well spotted. And finally, Alan Eaton has a fun fact about the phrase guest host, which was one of the theme answers in yesterday's puzzle. The word host in Czech is a cognate of the word guest in English. So that's interesting in that they are dealing with a related topic, a related concept, but they actually have different meanings. What might be more surprising, Elon continues, or less surprising depending on how you look at it, is that it is also related to the word host in English, as guest and host are actually related. It comes from a word that means both guest and host, as these were seen as two sides of the same interaction. That word gave us a number of other words relating to both hostility and hospitality, which are themselves descendants of host, of course. It gave us hotel and xenon, which comes from foreign or strange, which makes sense given xenophobia, that sort of thing. Hostage and hospital, and many more. That is extremely interesting. Thank you for that, Alan Eaton. That was an incredible. I agree. Your assertion was correct. That was indeed a fun fact. The fact was fun. So thank you. And that's that for today's puzzle. That's that for today's video as well. So I'll be back tomorrow for the Saturday crossword, our second of two themeless puzzles for the week, and likely a more difficult one than today's. So join me for that. But until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Friday. Take care.